but what's the point? They're eating meat, they're throwing, they're polluting, they're not recycling. What's the point in me doing it? It's just me. Definitely a ripple effect,
At the end of the day, even if you just take it for yourself, I always say, when I put my head on the pillow every night, I know that the kindest I could have been that day, that I didn't take any extra from the world, and that I did my best.
Vegans do have this bad
We
rep.
do have a bad rep for that. And I always try and break it. I'm like, no, we're not all annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. We're nice.
I'm Farah Shamas. Welcome to Hotel Talk. We hope you enjoy listening to this friendly conversation between people connected by real life in hotels.
Guys, I'm really happy because when I started Hotel Talk, actually everybody, when I mentioned I was going to start a podcast, they were like, obviously it's a vegan podcast. And I was like, no, it's actually on my main job, which is the hotel and hospitality industry. And so many people that are connected because of this amazing industry. And today I have with us Holly Johnson, who is the editor of Vegan Food and Living. So we are going to be talking a lot about veganism. Yay, finally. And if you are watching this, I've even got a t-shirt on with strawberries and cherries and bananas to honour this amazing conversation. And Holly is also a fellow podcaster.
Yes.
Also the host of a very popular, and I dare say famous, podcast show that's on pause at the moment.
It is on pause, yes. We've got, so many sort of different projects going on. So it is on pause, but we're hoping to bring it back at some point. So the Simply Vegan podcast. And but
people can still listen to it.
They can still listen to it.
Vegan. So, my dear, let's start with telling everyone who is out there and has no idea about veganism, what is Vegan Food and Living?
Okay, so we are the UK's only dedicated vegan consumer title now. A lot of magazines have closed. I don't know if it's the same here in Cyprus, but definitely in the UK, through COVID.
I think COVID was the nail in the coffin, wasn't it, for a lot of them? But I think it's the last 10, 15 years that things have gone online.
Exactly.
People are not, print's just too expensive. The advertising isn't there.
So we're still going.
Well done.
I've been on the magazine, I think 2 or 3 years. Before that was on a magazine called Simply Vegan, which closed as COVID hit, and that became the podcast.
Vegan,
I know, I was so upset when they closed it, but luckily, I could go on to do the podcast, and then obviously now I'm on Vegan Food and Living, so I feel very blessed that I could still carry on working in the field. So yes, it has 70 vegan recipes every issue. It's a monthly title.
70. Wow.
70, yes.
Goodness,
lots of recipes. But I try and balance that with lots of content, about the ethics, sustainability, health and nutrition, because obviously, we're all vegan for different reasons. Mm-hmm. Some of us, all the reasons. I think it depends how far you are into your vegan journey.
I think I've always found that there's the 3 main reasons, aren't there?
Yeah.
It's health, it's the planet, and it's animals.
Yeah.
And everybody goes into it for one of those reasons, but ends up with all of them being important.
Definitely.
But then it's ultimately the animals.
Yeah, exactly. So I was always quite into nutrition, and then met a PT who was vegan, and she was running nutrition courses, went along, and it just completely made sense to me. It's like, why have I been picking at chicken all these years, what is it, and not really enjoying food? This is what I should have been eating, all the whole foods and the colourful, the nuts,
the rainbow.
Exactly, eating the rainbow. So I just went vegan overnight and just felt fantastic, felt lighter, my gut health was so much better, and and that was it. And then obviously you learn about everything else,
and then obviously you were working somewhere else, so let's hear a little bit about you. So you didn't grow up vegan?
No.
Tell us a bit about, and you were married with 2 children. So this was all part of your non-vegan journey.
Yes.
And then...
Yeah, so growing up, I went vegetarian for about 4 years. I was always a massive animal lover. Like in the 80s, it was WWF, wasn't it? I'd have all the posters.
Little panda that we all had.
Yes,
and then Linda McCartney.
Yeah.
Huge poster.
Yeah.
Poster lady for vegetarianism.
Yeah. But obviously there wasn't the awareness. I didn't know anyone who was vegan. It was very much... In the 80s, it was kind of the frozen, processed vegetarian food.
A lot of corn, wasn't it?
Corn, cheesy, thin, just crispy pancakes, things like that.
And then it was very much about vegetarianism. So people went really dairy heavy.
Yeah, exactly. So that was sort of 4 or 5 years when I was, I don't know, sort of like before I became a teenager. And then, of course, you know, your
peer pressure.
Exactly. You just forget about your ethics. All you care about is, you know, like
fitting
your body
in.
and your boys and everything else and your friends. So yeah, I just didn't really, it wasn't really on my radar. Started working in magazine publishing when I left uni. I always wanted
so you did that straight away. You went into magazines.
Yeah. So I always wanted to be a writer. When I was little, I used to want to be an author. And then went into magazines. I worked on a wedding title I was deputy editor. It was a title called Perfect Wedding, which again is closed. So I was on that for a long time, and that was fantastic.
I remember that as well.
Yeah. It was brilliant. Yeah, really good fun. Like a all female team, and it was really good, really good job. But so then I went freelance and wrote for sort of various titles, Red and Cosmo and Homes and Antiques, all sorts of different titles. Moved back to Dorset, which is where I grew up, which is on the south coast of England. And met this lady who is now a really good friend. And she just taught me everything. And it was just a complete, overnight kind of, this is what I was meant to do. So from there, I kind of instantly wanted to make this my career as well. I wanted to write about veganism. I wanted to work on a vegan magazine. So connected with Vegan Food and Living and Simply Vegan. And the rest is history. I'm very, very lucky to have.
I love it. And okay, so we were chatting a bit last night when we had our dinner. And because a lot of our stories are very similar. So you had 2 children already, and it amazed me. Your daughter, who was already, older, she wasn't a baby, so she could choose for herself, and she chose to go vegan with you.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, so she was she used to eat. The Chinese, you get the like ribs, the sticky ribs, and it would be all messy. And I was never, even though I wasn't vegan, it was. To me, it was like it's an animal bone. It always felt wrong. I just didn't, know what I know now. So I used to be like, so she was a real kind of like she could eat whatever. I think she just saw how happy I was, and I was kind of teaching her about just eating more fruits and vegetables, and feeding her what I was eating, and she loved it. So so that was that. She's been vegan. She's 18 now. She's been vegan about 6 years.
Amazing.
My son's different story. He's 12, and
everybody finds their way.
I think maybe when he's older, because he is a really caring, compassionate person, and I think underneath he kind of knows. But at the moment it's
all about fitting in, and everybody, everyone's on their own journey.
Exactly.
When it's the right time.
Yeah.
So, I have quite a few questions for you, so I'll keep just looking down and prompting myself. So I love that Vegan Food and Living is the surviving one, with so many closed down. Why do you think companies like this are important? Like in general, companies that promote veganism, whether they use that word or not, and how?
Well, I think.
How do you think they can, stand out more?
Yeah, I think, obviously it's so important that we're, there's that market there, especially like older people who aren't necessarily on the internet so much. They're our core audience. Some of them have been vegan for, decades, but they're still hungry for, the new information. There's always studies coming out about nutrition and, other things. So, we're kind of serving the vegan market there. And lots of recipes, we all get bored of kind of cooking the same old thing,
exactly,
don't we?
Same curry, and it's like
exactly.
difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think there's stats that like the average household will only ever cook 9 dishes, and that's in a good case scenario. There's only we can so easily fall into the and I see myself, like I think like everyone, I mean, during COVID, everyone became a baker. And, I published a cookbook afterwards. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So did so many things. And with all these recipes that I made and created, like given the chance, I find that, I'm always cooking the same if I don't like think outside the box.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's nice, working on the magazine myself. It's constantly like, wow, okay, that looks, perhaps and so many different cultures that come into it, isn't it? With veganism, so many, like last night we had amazing Thai food. with
Thai
tofu.
food's so well known for vegan food.
So delicious. And so going back to the magazine, I think it's just the ethos of the company that sort of runs vegan food living is very much happier, healthier living, helping people to live happier, healthier lives. So we've got a running title and we've got some music titles and just all those things that kind of nurture you. So it's not even just about veganism, it's kind of, the whole sort of like lifestyle.
Holistic approach to... It's like my club, my subscription club. It's all about health and happiness, because one comes with the other.
Exactly.
Like, you can't be completely healthy if you're not happy. You can't be completely happy if you're not healthy. And veganism has so much to do with that, and being kind. How many people work in the company?
There's about 30, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's fairly small in terms of publishing companies, but not
quite big. Yeah.
It's been going like 20 years now, 22 years, I think. So
amazing.
And it is a really, really nice company to work for.
Tell us about the founder. Like, how did that come about?
It was set up by two guys who they're going to listen to this and they'll be like, no, that's not correct, Holly.
You should know this.
I should know this.
Please keep a job.
So Simon Lewis and John Bickley set it up. They used to work at a big publishing house called Future Publishing. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's a big one in Bath in the UK. So I think they just wanted to do things a bit differently, and it's just it's a lovely ethos. Everyone's really supportive. Mental health is very much prioritized, and during COVID we had sort of online yoga sessions and things like that. So
that's amazing.
It's there's not a high staff turnover because everyone feels supported, and even if you do have an issue, which, let's face it, there's always something going on in your personal life, or you're struggling at work, and you always feel like you can kind of go to someone and talk it through and actually, sort of work things out. So
that's so nice. That's really nice. So what's the part that you love most in your job? I mean, you've said quite a few already.
Obviously, it's kind of, like once you know everything that you do about what goes on, behind the scenes with the animals and what meat and dairy is doing to the planet and, all of it, it's kind of, becomes your sort of life mission in a way, doesn't it? And as much as I try and not make that sort of everything I'm about, it kind of really gets into your moral fibers, doesn't it? But I think so, obviously doing something that aligns with my ethics is fantastic, but it's also the creative nature of it. So every month I'm creating something from scratch, and it's fantastic just being able to, like I said, if there's a new study out and a lot of people are talking about, say, gut health, or, I can kind of focus in on that. And
it's amazing. Yeah. So I'm looking down my list of questions now. So we were talking about vegan travel earlier. You've obviously been to many places. What's one of your best go-tos for vegan travel? What do you find easier?
I have not been abroad a lot at all since COVID. So I went to Barcelona for my sister's, I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, but I'm going to stick to the
yes, that's
okay. For my sister's hen do. And that was fantastic. There was lots of tapas, lots of, meat and cheese, but there were things that I could have. But again, it is, it's not easy, is it? Yeah. Because, you've got the language barrier. I mean, even in the UK, if I, go to London, or I, because I don't live in Bath, but the company's based in Bath, if we have the Christmas party, I'll stay at a hotel, and, some of the options are just, they're just not existent at all. They're not there. I mean, seeing nutritional yeast in the main buffet,
in the Octagon
restaurant here, Megs and I took my colleague took a photo, because you just do not see these things even in the UK where veganism is supposed to be.
Because London is good for veganism. It's got a lot of vegan restaurants, lots of vegan options. I find London definitely one of the easier places to be in.
Definitely. I mean, it has got so much better over even since I've gone vegan, but there's a lot of you've got the burger option, the Beyond Meat burger, or Moving Mountains, and then you've got maybe like a salad and a risotto, but there's only so many times you can rotate those dishes, especially if you're eating out and spending a lot of money. It's not cheap. I don't know about Cyprus, but UK, cost of living is just skyrocketed, and eating out is it's a big treat now.
Yeah.
And, do you want to have a burger? You want something
Yeah.
a bit special,
Yeah,
don't you?
just give me something nice, exactly.
Yeah.
So what is your favourite food? If you could choose, like, what's your...
Oh, that's hard. I definitely just like probably a Buddha bowl, I'd have to say. Just
You
when
get a
you've
bit of
got
everything.
a bit of everything. That's what I love. Maybe you've got
Yeah.
some like hummus, which I know I'm probably pronouncing
No,
wrong as well.
that's right. Hummus. Yeah.
Hummus. Yeah, just
Yeah,
I love
edamame peas,
yes,
broccoli.
yeah.
Got a nice whole grain.
Yeah, you're making me hungry now.
Yes, Buddha bowls are good.
I just love all
Everyone's
the
a winner.
textures. Like you need that. I think that's something I realized when I went vegan is that you don't want just something bland and just mushy, or you need to get in the crunch and the spices and sort of I suppose it's a really creative way to cook, and that's another thing that appeals to me. Being like you, a creative person, you can kind of throwing it all in
and it's funny because like as you said, we follow all the studies, and so there's one of the latest studies that's come out in the last year or so is that now instead of looking at the 5 a day, we should be looking at the 30 a week.
Yeah.
And when I've said it to so many people, they're like, oh wow, that's a lot. And for me, when I read that the first time, I went, only like 30 a week, like plants and vegetables, and that includes herbs.
It does,
and
spices
nuts and seeds. And I was spice. So I was like, that's so easy. I probably eat that in a day, like a variety of 30 different things, And then other people were really, non-vegans are like, oh, that's quite tough.
Because I think
they're wasting like almost that
half the plate
on something that
potato and meat or whatever. Especially in the UK, traditionally it's meat and 2 veg, and like my son, it'll be the broccoli and the sweet corn, and it's kind of on rotation. And it's like, why not have some mushrooms? No, I don't like them. Don't like this. And I think people do get stuck in that rut, and it's probably 30 a week probably seems a
insane,
lot for
many, but that, I mean, if you think just nuts, you can easily eat 5 different types of nuts,
Brazil nuts. I'm always sort of just a few more. I love nuts.
Good, selenium, but they say not to eat too many.
They do,
but they're delicious.
I tried some fantastic things. Sorry, just quickly tell you in the this is it Cypriot corner or Cyprus corner in the Octagon.
Yeah,
I had the I've taken photos so I can remember the names. Is that the halva?
Yeah, the halva.
So, halva.
Yeah, which is vegan. Yeah, and that's a big dessert here during the fasting periods.
Okay.
Because actually the traditional Greek Orthodox religion dictates that we're fasting for, I think it's something like 180 days a year. Wow. So we're effectively vegan that time because there's not just the Lent period before Easter, but there's another 3 fasting periods. So there's 4 in total, plus the very religious will not eat animal products every Wednesday and Friday.
Right, that's amazing.
So so then they have their halva and their beans and all osprey. It's so healthy.
I think I had like a little it was like an olive like bread thing or like pastry.
Yes, olive pastry.
Salty. Really good.
I think it's like a staple thing in the bakery, olive pies.
Yeah. I'm going to be hunting it out when I get back to the UK.
Good. I know all my kids love olive pies. Yeah. Actually, the Mediterranean diet, that's why the traditional Mediterranean diet is known for being one of the healthiest in the world. But again, like, most healthy diets, and which, had a lot of people living till they were 100.
Yeah.
Meat was a treat. It was something that they would have once a month or, only on festivals. So while people were not strictly vegan, they were predominantly plant-based and eating natural, whole foods, plants,
like
and lots of beans.
A lot
so that
less.
would be there every day, and not very much dairy either.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's the blue zones, isn't it? Where people sort of live.
But like
really
everything else, the big chains arrive and the younger generation starts. Exactly. So it is quite interesting, though.
Yeah.
So tell us more about your experience at San Rafael. I've got to get that in.
Oh,
How have you found it? And
and
seashells. I know you've eaten them quite a few times.
We've been twice, and I mean we're here
in 2 days.
Yes, twice in 2 days, and we're going again today.
Yes, good for you.
I mean, firstly, thank you so much for having us. Inviting us out.
It's been our pleasure.
absolutely, dreamy. I mean, it's just been amazing, especially as the UK has just gone into
super cold.
it's just
And
gone
here it's
straight
still
into
summer.
winter. Yeah. So
Still summer.
my sisters, I have two sisters, and they're talking about Christmas shopping on the WhatsApp, and I'm just like sat by the pool thinking, I'm not thinking about Christmas yet, thank you. But yeah, I mean, it's been incredible. We've tried to pack in as much as possible. We said we have to come back and see more of the island, because there's so much at the resort that,
there's so much,
Yeah.
And we have in the Cyprus, we've got amazing Christmas villages.
Oh.
And someone we know who organises, there's a vegan fan festival here every September.
Right.
And then they're also usually at the Christmas fairs, so they're serving vegan soups and things like that. And we've got amazing nature trails as well, so you can really enjoy that. And the island it gets so green, people can't believe it in winter. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
So now, obviously, end of summer, it looks very dry. But it's a lovely time to swim in the sea, and every month there's something different to enjoy here. So we really are a year-round island.
Definitely, Paphos. So there's lots we want to come back and do, but the things we have done, obviously the food has been mind-blowing. We've had the truffle oyster mushroom gyros twice. Because it was just so good. Yes, we're definitely going to be trying to recreate that at home when we get back. We had the watermelon salad. So when you cook watermelon, it changes the texture, doesn't it? So it's like salmon.
Almost like a salmon or a tuna steak.
So that's kind of, that was incredible. And the lady, I think it's Alexia down at the seashells, was very much feeding us all the, we had cupcakes and yes,
the
we've eaten a lot.
Cupcakes are good, aren't they? Yeah,
the chef, amazing.
Kyriakos did those, and I was like, when we had the tasting, and we had all the desserts there, and I was literally with that one, like I can't stop eating it.
Yes, it was incredible.
I was like, the others are good, but this one,
I know. So, and obviously, breakfast. So I tried some more of the Cypriot things this morning, but then you've got the scrambled tofu. There's just so many options. Lovely lunch we had in the Octagon with. There was like a beetroot and tahini salad or something, was it?
Yes, and almost, when you look at it, you don't even think it's vegan because it looks so creamy.
Yeah.
But because it's tahini and it's not yogurt on top. So
that was delicious.
Yeah.
We've been canoeing. We took the canoes out yesterday. We've obviously swam in the pool, swam in the sea. It's just the water's so clear. It's just amazing. Like, because I live near the coast, so I do go sea swimming. We tend to my friends and I we do like a run along the coast and then we get in the sea to sort of cool off. But it's freezing. Like all year round it's freezing, let's face it. So to just swim in the sea and just, be warm.
And not
it's
go,
like exactly sort of screaming and I'm terrible for that. So we've done that. What else have we done? We did Pilates.
That's nice.
Outside.
With the animation team.
Yeah, they're amazing. So fun.
They're so energetic.
Yeah.
I'm always like, you follow like one, class of theirs and are done for the day, and they're like, doing 5 of them.
I know, exactly. Yeah. So the guy's really upbeat, isn't he? That runs them. He's really lovely. So we got a selfie with him last night, I think. So we did that, which was amazing. Obviously, we've been filming reels for Instagram. So, we can...
I can't wait to see them.
Yeah. What else have we done? Obviously,
we had dinner at Golden Monkey.
Dinner at Golden Monkey.
And you tried our new menu.
Amazing. Had a cocktail in a puffer fish
the spicy,
glass.
Spicy Thais.
Which was lovely. I'm trying to think what else we've done. We've done so much.
Lots.
Yeah.
Follow their Instagram to find out.
Yeah, busy few days.
So, my dear, ask everyone this. What is your favourite quote?
So it's definitely something from Alicia Silverstone. This is a bit of a name drop. However, she is just the loveliest person ever. And I cannot believe that her team contacted us to come on the podcast.
Oh, wow.
This was a few years ago. And of course, I was really shocked. I was like, what, our little podcast?
She's a massive poster girl for veganism.
She is. She really is.
So nice.
She was, clueless. And I think probably younger generation might not know her so well, but she is just so down to earth. It was done remotely. So sadly I wasn't flown out to LA or anything, but she was just, it was just like chatting to an old friend, and she's so so compassionate and sort of, fairly sort of spiritual. She believes in karma and everything. So I'll just get it up because I don't want to misquote her. But the quote is, being vegan helped me realize I can say and do what I believe is right, which is really powerful. And I think it's so true. So many people I speak to when we get into the topic of veganism, it's like, but what's the point? They're eating meat, they're throwing, they're polluting, they're not recycling. What's the point in me doing it? It's just me. But of course, if everyone's...
You said, 1 billion people.
Exactly.
8 billion people in the world. So if everybody's... But you're one, but then another one, then another.
Yeah.
And, you can make a difference.
Definitely. It's definitely a ripple effect.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but people... I'm friends with, my family, they're kind of inspired by the amazing things you're cooking. I think just...
And I just think, at the end of the day, even if you just take it for yourself, like I always say, when I put my head on the pillow every night, I know that I was the kindest I could have been that day, that I didn't take any extra from the world, and I did my best.
Yeah.
And that starts on your plate.
Yeah.
And, and I think that kindness effect within yourself also then makes you kinder to yourself, more forgiving for yourself, and then for other people. So the ripple effect is really big.
Definitely.
And I just think whatever everyone can do.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, it is about not being judgmental, because I think that vegans do have this bad
We
rep.
do have a bad rep for that. And I always try and break it. I'm like, no, we're not all annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. We're nice. It's that sort of stereotype, isn't it? But I think it's just, like you say, being accepting and supportive and, why don't you just try this amazing dish?
Well, that's what I did with
vegan.
Cook Vegan, my Facebook group, which has thousands of people on it. And, even if I inspire all of them to have one meal every week that is vegan, and they all, from what I know, everybody did. And then they went to one day. Yeah. And then some people contacted me and they even said, well, thank you, because our child, however old, even if they're in their 20s or they were 8 years old or 10 years old, doesn't want to eat meat, and we're forcing them to do it. But by seeing what you do, we have the courage now to allow them to go with their instincts. That's and amazing. Know that they'll still be healthy and they're okay. And so I think the more people speak, and not in a mean way, but just be like, look, this is possible. Yeah, it opens their eyes and doors for so many.
Yeah, it's education, isn't it? Let's face it. Like in the UK, we don't have any nutrition education at school, and even the GPs don't have a lot of nutrition education. So there's a lot of misinformation, which is probably a whole nother podcast.
Definitely.
Something I'm quite passionate about at the moment. There's you go on social media or, TikTok or whatever, and there's so much false information that people are believing, whether it's about veganism or nutrition, ultra processed foods.
And they love it. They love highlighting the one case of, some crazy parent who malnourished a child and, 10 years ago, and the court in Italy said, oh, you have to feed your child meat. And then, you see, but come on, guys, this is like what, I mean, there was probably a lot of other accusations as well. Like, you cannot pinpoint everything on that. But, and it's very easy to find a retired doctor, pay them, and then have doctors study states that, the fat and bacon is good for you. I don't know.
Exactly.
And so you've really got to look behind who wrote the reports, what is the study, who paid for them, where were they published.
But who's going to be doing that in their day-to-day life? They're just not, are they?
They're just going to read it and say, oh,
exactly.
Yeah, I better eat butter now or whatever. Yeah.
So true.
It's tiring. I get sent this stuff all the time by people. They just forward it to me. And half the time I can't be bothered to respond. I'm just like, really, this is not even worth my time reading this. This is not real.
It can be really frustrating. I saw something the other day, and it was a Facebook group called UK Farming or Farming UK. And it was a picture of steak and eggs, and it said steak and eggs healthier than any vegan meal. And it's, vegan or not, that is not going to, if you're just eating steak and eggs, that's not going to be good for you.
I mean, there's no fibre in that whatsoever. Yeah. So, quite. But you just... what to say? Yeah, you just each to their own, and just keep doing the best we can, and then Right, so let's see what bonus question you have got.
Oh, scary.
So, well, they're normally not that profound.
Okay.
It's normally about food or
That's such a great idea.
fashion. So this is from our team.
Oh, how
Yeah, so
lovely.
they put these together.
Your staff are so lovely.
Aren't they?
Yeah,
They
I've made
are.
quite a few friends, and I've got
Oh.
Fanny's address.
Yes, we're connected them, and loads of people are connected with all our guests over social media. So they're like, oh, they know before we do. The guests are booked to come back again. They're like, yeah, they'll be emailing reception next week.
Oh,
you know?
lovely. And that's what I love about this podcast, you know, the concept of it, like, you know, hotels, it's all walks of life, all coming together.
Everyone, exactly.
Yeah, it's really nice. Oh. Okay, so this says, what's your favourite way to relax after a long day? That's from Natalie. In the winter, definitely a bath. I just love water.
Well, you are British, aren't you?
Exactly.
I mean, it's the joke on.
Yeah.
When I was studying, I was laughing so much. We saw some better houses, let's say, but one of my flatmates was absolutely categorically refused to be in a house that didn't have a bath.
Yeah.
He needed his bath every day.
Yeah, no, I couldn't
so
live
Andy,
in a house.
if you're listening to this, you know, it's you. It's so funny. So, okay, a bath.
Definitely a bath in winter, but I'm not a winter person. I just really don't. You know, like my sister will be like, oh, let's get cozy with candles. And I'm like, yeah, for like a night or two, but not 6 months. So in the summer,
10.
Yeah, exactly. In the UK.
In the UK.
Yeah, so it's quite, in the summer, we take the paddleboard out, you know, along the coast. We might have a little beach barbecue or something.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, I've got, you know, like you, sort of big family. And we like sort of just, getting together, enjoying good food and things like that. So
that's lovely. And you make the most of nature and where you are.
Yeah.
I love that.
Especially when it is sunny. It's like, right, we have to go out. Because tomorrow it might be raining. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Well, we have the exact opposite here. So we have, I don't know, we can probably count the amount of days we can go, let's cozy up.
Yeah.
And get excited when it rains. But
it's such a different concept to be living in a country, you know, because in the UK you're constantly checking the weather. Like the weather app is our most used thing. Whereas here I haven't checked it at all because I just wake up and it's hot.
And it's hot, that's
it's just like my
But it can't be too hot, but it's nice.
I can imagine it get a bit much.
Well, thank you so much. We're all waiting for your podcast to restart.
Yes.
We will be definitely looking out for the next publication, which I think is a Halloween one.
Yeah.
We're going to put all the links in the show notes to everybody.
Fantastic.
Follow Vegan Food and Living on Instagram. You're on TikTok as well, aren't you?
Not TikTok.
Not TikTok?
Not really, no.
Okay.
We haven't ventured down that route
All
yet.
Right, so Instagram, where can we find you?
Instagram, we're on Facebook and Twitter, X. All the usual platforms.
Perfect.
So
great.
Thank you.
Thank you
It's been
so much
lovely.
for being here.
Yeah, you'll definitely have to come on the podcast when we start it up again.
I'm there.
I'm hoping.
Just let me know.
Yeah, but I don't have any of the fancy setup, so
Zoom is good. It works. Thank you so much, my dear, and all the best, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button because it helps us more than you may realise. If you are planning on coming to visit us at St. Raphael Resort and Marina, feel free to email our reservations team quoting Hotel Talk and receive an exclusive offer just for you. We look forward to seeing you soon, hearing your feedback about our show, and producing many, many more interesting episodes just for you, our listener, and our valued guest in mind. Thank you so much, and take care.